Hi, it's Gordon out here in the shop with another edition of the Unscripted Series. And today I say goodbye to an old friend and hello to a new friend. And that's how I think, and all three of us think of our tools. There are things that we get to know them, and they almost develop personalities, and they certainly all have quirks, and they're not identical. And so getting to know your tools and know how they work is pretty important to the rhythm of your day. Well, this is our Orbital Sander by DeWalt, and we've used this one or one like it now for almost 6 years, and they're about $100, so they're not cheap, and they've been really good for what we wanted to do. Orbital sanding is very important to what we do. It's one of the most important parts of the prep process as we remove the glue from the binding, as we smooth down the neck after shaping, and as we bring an instrument, what I think of as bringing it into finish, getting it ready for hand sanding. So the Orbital Sander is really key to what we do. It's a nice Orbital Sander. It is heavy. I don't know, I'm thinking that it's maybe 2 or 3 pounds. The dust collection on it is not so good, this little bag here. So we have our downdraft table that sucks dust in and filters it out, and that really helps. But it's done well, and it's been our friend. We did, after a while, switch to this Porter cable sander. It's the same weight, basically. Removes material maybe a little bit more quickly. Has a pretty cool dust collection on it, this Cyclone, but it's still an AC electric plug-in kind of sander. And I'm going to show you just how loud this is, in addition to being heavy. Can't turn on the downdraft or you won't hear it, but there'll be some dust here. So it's noisy and it's full of vibration, and it makes the time that we spend at the downdraft a little bit unpleasant. So, this is also a story. Well, I guess I'm just going to show you my new friend right here, and then I'll tell you some of the story. This is a Mirka sander. It is not AC electric, it's electric, but it's DC electric, so its power cord is... Oh. I switched it on by accident. Okay, this is its power cord. It is super light. It is, I think just by feeling it, it's half the weight of these and maybe even a little bit less. Integral dust collection. And so this hose goes down right here to this vacuum that Mirka makes, like a shop vac. And the sander's plugged into that, not only the vacuum, but the electrical. So when I turn on the sander, the vacuum comes on. And I'll show you just how quiet this is. I wait for the vacuum to shut off. So that's with both vacuum and sander on. So it's much quieter than the other sander. It's much lighter. It has a lot less vibration. It is way expensive. This thing was $500 about, and the sander the vacuum was another $600 on top of it. So $1,100 all in. But the sander, my recollection is it comes with a 5-year warranty. And we were running through the DeWalt's at about 1 every 6 months, or certainly more than 1 a year. So over the long haul, this will pay off. Then, of course, we've got Ben Bonham. You know him, that works for us. And one of the problems we had with this initially is that the weight of the cord and the vacuum coming off the back end made it hard to use, the sander. So Ben rigged this up for us, this beautiful overhead swinging arm that holds the weight, balances the weight of the vacuum and the cord. Up there you can see that's the power supply for the sander that converts the AC to DC. And I can't say enough good about this sander. It's got this on-off paddle switch right here on the top. So one of the things with an Orbital sander is that ideally you want to start, unlike any other sanding, this one you want to actually have it in contact with your material before you start it. And it was really hard to do with these old sanders, but with this one, because the on-off is so fast, we can do that. And every little move we make, we can turn the sander on and off, and the vacuum comes on and off with it. It's got very convenient speed control up here. Now it's variable speed with this paddle, but we also we can change the maximum speed right up here with this plus and minus button. And we're using some very fancy sandpaper, Abranet, that's got holes. It's actually a mesh sandpaper, and so the dust collection is unbelievably good with this sander. And as you can see, I'm rotating it around effortlessly here. The vacuum actually rotates in its fitting, and so as we do the body and the neck and go around it like that, this thing, it's almost like it floats in midair. Sounds like I'm a salesman for Mirka. I'm not. I just love this new sander, and as we've gotten used to it, it has quickly become our new friend. And it also is a little bit of a story about, old school, business practices, and I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just, what used to be, which is when people came and visited your shop and showed you their new products. Now, as you can expect, with us doing our own website and all of our business, no dealers being, over the internet, we're not really old school in the way that we run our business. And so when I order sandpaper and other things, it's 2 a.m. when I get up and I do it over the internet, and UPS delivers, and it's a wonderful thing. And so not too long ago, I wrote to Mirka and I said, hey, I buy a lot of sandpaper, can I get a deal? And I got a quick email back from Mirka in Ohio. And they said, we can work with you a little bit, possibly on price, but when we're in the area, could we visit? So they came out, not only Mirka, but the local representative, Roy, that works for Carlson Equipment out of Portland. And they drove up here to the shop, and we're a long way. We're a half an hour from the closest town. So they made the trek, and I'm thinking, this is kind of weird. Like, okay, you can come deliver sandpaper, but it's not really the way I work. And so I showed them around the shop and told them, they said, what sander are you using? And I showed them my old friend. And they said, well, we've got something to show you. And they showed me this, and I ended up buying it. Well, if they hadn't made that trip up here and I hadn't met with them, I wouldn't know about this sander. It's one of the downsides of the internet. You can find what you're looking for, but you often don't run into things that you don't know about. You don't get exposed to it. It's not like you get, a paper catalog anymore or a visit by a salesman. So in this case, Roy has done us a lot of good, and Mirka, and we really appreciate it. And he's come up here a couple more times, and he delivers our sandpaper, and he brought, whenever we need parts, he brings it. So it's worked out really well. So hope you'll join me in saying hello to our new friend. He's certainly been a help to the three of us here in the shop. Thanks, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.